What is up and welcome back. We've got a great video for you today. We actually haven't covered the city in a long time. We're going to be talking about Evergreen, Colorado. But before I do so, guys, I'm just going to give a quick, please send your thoughts and prayers to those who just suffered through Hurricane Milton. We personally have some family and friends who live around the Tampa area, and it's just unfortunate what they're going through. So I'm just going to take a quick second in this video to just ask, please send your thoughts and prayers to those people down there that they are able to get through this as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and that there's not too much damage or too much loss that they are experiencing. Thank you for letting me say that. Let's go ahead and dive into Evergreen, Colorado, though. Okay, so Evergreen is great. I actually remember always going there as a kid. We had some friends that lived in Evergreen. We used to do like some makeshift snowboarding, make the ramps and stuff. It's just a great spot. I think it's one of the top close mountain towns that a lot of people do go to either visit or also commute into. If they like work in Denver, it's like live in Evergreen and then I'm just going to commute down to Denver. One of those great spots. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about the location. Where is Evergreen, Colorado located? So if you pretty much look like Golden or even Morrison area, go straight up into the mountains, that's where it's at. That doesn't tell you too much outside of, let's talk about some of those drive times. So if we are talking about driving down into Denver from Evergreen, Colorado, and these estimates are based off of the heart of Evergreen, Colorado, because if you go up I-70, there's an exit right there, and technically you're in Evergreen, but we're talking about downtown Evergreen. If you live around that area, how long will it take you to get into Denver? You're looking at about a 38-minute drive, so let's just call that 40 minutes. Of course, if you're going to be hitting any traffic, either going down or coming back from Denver, that time frame will be a little bit more. If you're looking at commuting over into DIA, so Denver International Airport, you're looking at about an hour. Again, this is without traffic. This is just a direct shot over into Denver International Airport. Another thing that we see a lot of people who move into Evergreen for is like, hey, guess what? I like to ski a lot. So I'm gonna actually get into some stuff when we're talking about the activities where this time is gonna be cut down quite a bit. But the closest ski resort that we always use when comparing these cities is Loveland Ski. And in order to get to Loveland Ski from Evergreen, Colorado, you're looking at about an hour and 12-minute drive. Let's go ahead and hit on that housing market though, because this is one of the main reasons that you guys come to this channel is like, how much am I going to be paying if I decide to purchase a house? Today we are discussing Evergreen, Colorado. What we like to do is talk about that median sales price, and these median sales prices are updated monthly. These numbers are according to September of 2024. And if we take that overall number where we look at your single family and your attached products lumped into one number, you got a median sales price of $813,000, and that number is actually down 23.53% year over year. So that is covering from September of 2023 over into September of 2024. What are we looking at when we talk about your single family products? That usually is always higher than your overall number. The median sales price on single families up in Evergreen, Colorado is going to be $921,000. And that number is also down 13.29%. Last one that we do cover is going to be your attached products. So when we're talking about your condos, your townhouses, and your row homes, you're looking at a median sales price of $615,000. That number is up, but not in the same way. So for some reason with these numbers, they did not do a year over year comparison. This is up month over month, 12.02%. Another major thing you guys are concerned about, and the third topic we're gonna be diving into, are those schools. What do the schools look like in Evergreen, Colorado? Funny thing is, we just covered Golden. We just posted a video on Golden. This is going to be the same exact school district as Golden was, where we're talking about Jefferson R1. So then we know that Jefferson R1, if you watched our video from last week, is rated an A-. Let's break into a few of those schools though, because we like to pick out a few of the schools so we see where those schools grade. And if you want to dive in even deeper, we always recommend going to niche.com. On the left-hand side, after you type in Jefferson County R1 or whatever it is, on the left-hand side, you have a bunch of options. Select that map option, and you can really zoom into Evergreen and see all the schools and see how they are graded. We just picked 3 schools. Usually we pick like an elementary school, middle school, and high school. The elementary school that we did pick was Wilmot Elementary, and that is graded an A-. The middle school that we picked is Evergreen Middle, and that one is rated an A-. And then the high school that we picked was Evergreen High School, and that is rated an A. So it's great to see these awesome grades according to niche.com up in Evergreen, Colorado. Just make sure that you do check out that website to do your homework, even if you aren't planning on, making Evergreen your next home. A few of these other cities, wherever you have any interest of moving into, what are the grades of the schools in that area? The fourth thing that we're going to be talking about is that cost of living index. And when we compare these cities, we like to compare them to Denver, since that's the main city that drives so much traction, so many searches into the Colorado area. So we're going to be comparing the cost of living to Evergreen over into Denver. And we use a cost of living index where 100 is your national average. So I guess it's another comparison, because if it's over that, if it's higher than that, then it's going to be more expensive. And if it's lower than it, then it's going to be cheaper than your national average. Where does Evergreen come in? We already talked about the median sales prices. We know that those are high. It does definitely reflect on one of these numbers. But let's look at that overall number first. The overall number on that cost of living index for Evergreen is going to be a 132.7 compared to Denver, which is a 127.6. So you're looking at about 10 points higher. I was noticing sometimes the math in my head is not doing it, because I was looking at Golden. We did the exact same thing and I got a few of my numbers off. So you get what I'm trying to say. Let's go ahead and look over to the next category, which is going to be your groceries. Groceries cost of living index in Evergreen, Colorado is going to be a 105.3 compared to Denver, which is going to be a 101.7. So when we are talking about your food and groceries, it is going to be a little bit more expensive up in Evergreen as compared to Denver. The next one we dive into is health. So just talking about going to those hospitals, those doctor visits. That cost of living index is always pretty awesome when we are talking about the Denver metro area, even though technically Evergreen isn't the Denver metro. It does come in pretty low, coming in at 83.6, where Denver is an 83.9. So just a little bit cheaper when we're talking about health, comparing Evergreen over to Denver. This is the one where that median sales price is going to come to effect when we are talking about your housing. What is that cost of living index on housing in Evergreen? The only thing and the biggest difference about this number is this number incorporates both renting and then also purchasing a home, house, condo, townhouse, any of those things in Evergreen, Colorado. And that number is pretty high, guys. That cost of living index number is going to be a 273.3 compared to Denver, which is a 183.1. We did see that with these median sales prices, how the prices are much higher in regards to housing up in Evergreen as compared to Denver. The next category is going to be utilities. That cost of living index of utilities in Evergreen, Colorado is going to be a 94.4 compared to Denver, which comes in at a 96.2. Just a little bit cheaper. It's a couple points lower. We are talking about that cost of living index for utilities in Evergreen compared to Denver. And the final one is going to be transportation. Now, when we talk about transportation, majority of this is going to be talking about, the cost to maintain your car, the cost to fuel your car, the cost for public transportation. That is what this cost incorporates. Evergreen, it is going to be a little bit higher. That cost of living index number is a 124.9 and Denver is a 116.1. So that's almost, 8 points higher up in Evergreen as compared to Denver. And I think the biggest contributing factor to this is when you're in Evergreen, you do notice that gas prices are going to be a little bit higher up in Evergreen as compared to Denver. All right, the fun one is going to be activities. This is the fifth and final thing that we are going to be covering in regards to Evergreen, Colorado. Whenever I think about Evergreen, Colorado, there's two main things, and the number one being hiking. We love going up to, I think it's called the Three Sisters Trail up there. We love hiking up there. We brought our kids up there. We brought our dogs up there. It's just an awesome getaway trail that you go up to and you just get away from the city, get away from everything. The other good thing about this trail that we have noticed is I don't think too many people have caught on to it yet. If we're talking about a bunch of these hiking trails up in Boulder, even above Golden or anything, they are super packed. Where it seems like not too many people do know about this trail. It is a little bit further off the highway, so that might be a big reason why it isn't as packed as a lot of these other trails that run kind of along the front range of the Denver metro area. We enjoy it quite a bit, and it's one of our top choices when we do decide to go hiking in the mountains. The second thing that I always remember about Evergreen, Colorado is Evergreen Lake. I actually spent a lot of time on this lake. As I mentioned, we had friends who lived up in Evergreen, and so we always got to go down there and do the paddle boats. And then in the wintertime, I did the ice skating on the lake. if you've never ice skated on a lake as compared to like an ice rink, it is much different. We're talking about it's definitely not as smooth, so there's a lot of bumps in the ice, and then also the wind. If the wind catches you, then you're just kind of like, oh crap. Also on Evergreen Lake though, like they do ice hockey, which is super cool. You actually have some outdoor ice hockey. Most of the ice hockey that we talk about in Colorado is gonna be like indoors in an arena. It's cool that kids get to do that ice hockey outside. It's definitely a different environment. Of course, you know, I already mentioned the paddle boats. If you want to do paddle boarding or kayaking, there's a great little rental spot right there that you can rent those products and take advantage of Evergreen Lake. Another great activity in Evergreen is going to be Evergreen Downtown. Now, I always remember as a kid going up there, my parents always wanted to bring me there because they actually have a great burger. It's the Little Bear Saloon. Going in there, it has been there forever, as long as I can remember, but just being able to enjoy all the little boutiques that are in Evergreen Downtown. They have some great little local owned restaurants that you can take advantage of in there as well. Also in Evergreen Downtown, and I keep on saying that I want to go down there and do this, especially now that we have the kids. They have this duck derby where I still haven't completely grasped onto the concept, but it sounds like, you know, they have all these ducks that they toss in. They have a number, or you mark them in some way, and they go over the waterfall from Evergreen Lake down to the river that goes through the downtown, and then they have like a winner of the duck derby. It's super cool. Something that I personally haven't taken advantage of, but I mean, if you have kids or anything like that, it looks like something that you might be able to have a lot of fun at. Another great thing that I used to always love to do, you know, back I guess in my single and kidless days, because now my wife pretty much, you know, as soon as we knew that we were going to be having our first kid, she's like, you are getting rid of your motorcycle. But when I did have that motorcycle, I loved going up and taking advantage of the roads that are all throughout Evergreen. So if you own a motorcycle, you want to do that great mountain riding, I mean, there's a lot of great roads that you can take advantage of that in Evergreen. And then I kind of teased this a little bit. I told you guys that if you want to go like skiing or snowboarding, go to Loveland Ski, right? Well, Evergreen actually has their own ski mountain. It is Echo Mountain. It is a newer mountain. It's one that, when I went there, the only thing is I didn't like how much they emphasized the sports park. I personally, like I said, my favorite mountain to go to is Copper Mountain, but if you do want to go to just a quick ski mountain that is right there, not having to deal with all that traffic that is on I-70, you have Echo Mountain right there. And another great thing about Echo Mountain is the season pass is much cheaper than a lot of these other mountains, Vail, Breckenridge, Winter Park Steamboat. It is way cheaper. I believe last time I looked, it was like $250 for an adult. I think it was $150 for kids up to 12. Yeah, I think that's what the numbers were, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than a lot of these other mountains taking advantage of when we're talking about that season pass. All right, cool guys. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Denver metro area, all the way up into Fort Collins, give our team a call or text at that phone number right below. Right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter date or time, but if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along and educate yourself on all the latest stuff coming into the Denver metro area by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video. Till next time, we love you. Bye.